You're driving home and you feel fine. You're careful. You're thinking you're about to get home safely. And then suddenly, those red and blue lights are flashing behind you. Your heart starts racing, it starts pounding. You start asking yourself, what did I do? Am I going to jail? Am I going to lose my license? What is this going to do to my job, my family, my record? That moment feels small, but it can change everything, right? I mean, here you are, you're dealing with police pulling you over and you're getting a DWI charge, right? And the bigger question that you're going to be dealing with is this: is it fair for your future to be decided by roadside tests and their assumptions? Well, tonight I'm going to walk you through a real defense strategies that we use in Texas DWI cases. Because here's the truth: DWI arrest is not the same as a DWI conviction. What happens in the first few minutes of a stop can determine everything. All right. I want you to stay with me because the final strategy that I share tonight is one that often shifts the entire case. Who am I? I'm Ruben Restrepo. I'm a Texas DWI lawyer. I've defended individuals charged in Texas with DWI cases, and I have lots of experience, hundreds of dismissals. I reviewed countless police reports, dash cam videos, body cam footage, breath test logs, blood tests, and I've seen where cases fall apart, which is good for you. In the next several minutes, I'm going to break down 5 core DWI defense strategies. Question to stop, challenge sobriety tests, showing sobriety, expose improper procedures, and challenge so called experts. By the end of this live, you will understand where DWI cases are strong and where they're vulnerable. And the most powerful leverage point comes at the end. So I want you to stick with me. Okay, so before we dive deeper, I want you to subscribe to the channel. I break down Texas criminal law in plain English so you understand your rights and your options. And protecting your future matters to you. Make sure you don't miss any of my updates. All right? So let's get into this. Strategy number 1, questioning the stop. Here's what most people don't realize: an officer cannot pull you over without legal justification. They must have reasonable suspicion that you violated the law. Not a guess, like saying, I wonder if this guy is a DWI. That's a hunch. They can't have a hunch. Not it's pretty late and you left a bar. No. Once you review the dash cam footage where officers say something like failed to maintain a lane, videos can show normal lane changes, signal on, smooth movements, no danger. That's where a stop is going to become an entire issue, because if the stop is unlawful, everything that follows can be suppressed. No lawful stop, that means no lawful arrest. That means no case. This is where people make a mistake. They assume that because they were stopped, it must have been valid. That is not how the law works. Okay. Strategy 2, challenging the sobriety test. Let's talk about field sobriety tests. You know it. That eye test, the walk and turn, the one leg stand, they look scientific. They look official, but they are more of a coordination test, not the direct measures of intoxication. Now, think about the conditions. You might be stopped and then they're making you do tests on uneven pavement. They got flashing lights on, traffic is passing, you're nervous, maybe you got some medical issues, or maybe you're just fatigued. I had a client with a prior knee injury. He failed the walk and turn, but on the video, he never lost balance. He followed the instructions. He stayed composed. So here's the key. These tests must be administered according to standardized procedures. We've all taken standardized tests, right? Like SAT, ACT, same concept. If the officer deviates from protocol, the reliability drops. This next part, this is where people can get into trouble. Many drivers try too hard. They rush, they're panicking on the inside. And the video tells a different story than a report. And the video matters. All right, let's talk about strategy 3. Let's show some sobriety here, right? I thought you were intoxicated. Defense is not only about attacking the state's evidence, it's about showing the full picture. Okay, now before I give you the insight, I want you to understand something important. Jurors look at behavior. Was the speech clear, unlike what they said? Yes? Were the answers coherent? Yes. Was the driver respectful? Yes. Did the person appear confused or calm? Probably calm. I represent somebody who had one drink with dinner. On body cam, he spoke clearly. He followed all the instructions. He answers his questions directly. The arrest report suggested impairment. The video showed composure. And that changed the leverage completely. DWI cases are not just about numbers. They are about the narrative that we have going on. All right. Strategy number 4. Let's challenge improper procedures. Breath tests, blood tests are not automatically valid. Machines must be maintained. Officers must be certified. Blood must be drawn properly, right? You just take that out. Chain of custody, it must be preserved. If procedures break down, reliability breaks down. I once reviewed the maintenance logs on a breath test machine. The calibration history showed inconsistencies. That created reasonable doubt. Here's what most people don't realize. Even when a number looks strong, procedure mistakes can weaken the case dramatically. DWI defense is technical. It's not like an assault defense. This is very technical, and technical errors create leverage. All right. Strategy number 5. We're going to challenge these so-called experts. So now we come to the strategy that often shifts everything. The state presents experts, breath test operators, lab analysts, drug recognition experts. But experts are human. They rely on their training, right? They rely on a bunch of assumptions because the government is telling them to. They're going to rely on a bunch of different interpretations. And this is where cross-examination matters. What's the margin of error? Oh, it puts you below? That's kind of weird. How often have you invalidated tests? Never? That's really strange. What environmental factors affect the device? None. That doesn't sound right. When certainty begins to look less certain, the case changes. And that is often where negotiation power increases, right? So if you or someone you care about is facing a DWI charge in Texas, do not assume that the outcome is just going to be automatic. They got to go to jail, they got to go on probation. Every case has different pressure points. If you need personalized analysis, use the link in the description for a confidential consultation. I'll examine the stop, the test, the procedures, and the expert claims. I will try to identify the strongest defense strategy. Okay, so let me summarize everything clearly. Strong DWI defenses focus on these 5 areas: questioning the stop, challenging the sobriety test, showing the sobriety, exposing improper procedures, and challenging experts. When you understand these pressure points, you can gain a lot of clarity and control. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop your questions in the chat. Put them in the comments. Some of the most powerful insights come from real questions that people have. Your questions might help someone else watching right now. So let's talk about your rights. I'm here. Ask away. All right, let's check something out here. Okay, Mark Lyons asks, how do I get an over 30 years felony expunged? You can't really get it expunged. What you can do is you can ask for a pardon. You would have to fill out a documentation and submit it to the governing body, which would usually be the governor. Now, it just depends, right? Like if you're from somewhere else, like Louisiana or Florida, you got to go over there. I'm basically send it in over there. Most of the time now, you can just upload it. But other than that, if you're just going to be here, Texas Governor Abbott, you're going to be submitting it there. If you get the pardon, then you can restore your any kind of right that has been taken away. But you have to have it very strong because it is hard to get, but it's not impossible. So I definitely recommend you trying. What Kendrick Bester asks, what if they ask you if you have a gun or weapon in your car? Well, my question is, why are they asking that? If they're asking that because they believe you are going to be arrested for an actual crime, okay, you have your right to remain silent. So we don't want to be talking about that stuff. But you actually have a right to remain silent even if you're not being arrested. The only thing you ever have to do is identify yourself. You did that by giving your driver's license and proof of financial responsibility at a traffic stop. So if they are asking you all these other questions, these are irrelevant questions. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say, oh, search a car. They're just asking you extra questions. And if they're asking you extra questions, especially when they already have the driver's license and proof of financial responsibility, their responsibility is to go and check you out. Do you have a warrant? No. Okay, I can go. Do you have insurance? Guess what? No ticket. So now you're good to go. Why are they asking you questions about whether you have guns in your vehicle? Because if you say yes, then they're going to be like, okay, well, I need to pat you down. You just pulled me over for a ticket. You're giving me an unnecessary delay. So, hey, look, there's plenty of people who have trouble speaking English and they're just like, They look kind of silly because they don't really understand what the officer's saying, but they're not answering. So what do? They just make sure that they give that stuff immediately, even kind of before the officer's asking for it. Now they don't have a reason to ask. And you could just say, I'm not giving consent to search the car, and I'm not answering any questions without my lawyer present. Does that mean that you're under arrest? No. It just means that, hey, I'm not answering any questions without my lawyer present, and I'm not giving up my right to remain silent. And I'm not giving consent to searching. Okay. Now, if this is a DWI, they're going to claim that they smell alcohol and they're going to get you out. And guess what? You're probably going to get arrested anyways. They can find the gun. I have never seen where my client volunteered the information that there was a gun in the car and the case was not charged. They always charge the case. So I always see all these people saying, well, you got to cooperate with the police and you got to do all this stuff. Why? What are you going to get? If I'm going to do something, I better be getting something out of it, because I just got stopped. So you've already taken something away from me. So I need something back. If I tell you that I have a gun in this car, am I not going to get charged? Oh, I got charged? Okay. So what was going on? Why did we go through all this? These are the things that we need to think about. Somebody asked me, why do I make it about open carry? Well, that was just a topic, right? A lot of people don't understand that open carry is like when it's on your person and you're on out and about. But then when you get into the car, it's no longer open carry. What's open about it? You're in the car. So now it falls under different rules. It's car carry. Okay, this person asked if I have no idea if that is bearing on the answer, just in case. Is the side of the console mounted holster acceptable? If it's a holster and you're able to put a gun inside of it, then it's a holster, right? Like if you can buy it and the whole purpose is to have a gun placed in it, then it's a holster. Now, sometimes people have these little contraptions where the gun is magnetically being held there. That's not a holster. That's just like an easy access for a gun. It's not meant to hold the gun. A holster, basically, you can think of it as like, is this portable? Are you going to be able to leave without it? Right? If you can, I would say that is a true holster. But honestly, I have never run into that situation where the gun was in something meant to hold a gun. And then the police were like, oh, yeah, we're going to arrest this person anyways. So I appreciate everybody that's watching. Please subscribe for more. I want to hear your questions. Thank you so much.